So you bought yourself a brand new Cadillac RV Caravan from U-Shaped Caravans, and you come outside and you look at all that stuff and it's like, what does all that do? It's actually all pretty straightforward. Now, generally speaking, in a caravan, there's two sources of power. There is shore power and battery power. Now, shore power is literally just a lead, generally 15 amp, that's connected to somewhere in generally the caravan park or your house. Batteries, well, I think everyone knows what a battery is. Now, when you want 240 volt power for your microwave or aircon or whatever, that's the job of the multi-plus. Generally, it's a 3 kilowatt multi-plus. That is your inverter, so it converts the battery power to 240 volts, and that is your charger. So it takes the shore power, the electricity from that power lead, and it converts it into 240. So it charges your batteries when you're plugged in, and it also puts 240 for your aircon, etc. Now, in this particular setup, we've got two charge controllers. So they're both 50 amp charge controllers, and they are connected to two solar panels on the roof, and their job is basically to take that power from the solar panels and charge the batteries. This is the Orion. It's a DC-DC. All that basically does is it's connected to your car via your plug setup, and using your car's alternator when you're driving, it actually charges the batteries. So when you're driving, your batteries actually get charged by the solar, that still works, and also the DC-DC controller. And this is a servo. This is actually the brains of the unit. So that talks to this screen. Talks to this screen inside. So it tells it things like, is the batteries charging at the moment? What are their state of charge? How much solars we got coming in? What are our loads, etc. Once again, all that looks pretty scary, but it's actually pretty straightforward. Now, the Victron, being a smart system, automatically senses if you are on shore power or you're not connected and needs to use battery power. You don't have to touch anything. When you get to the caravan site, simply plug in your 15 amp lead, wait for maybe 10 seconds, and you'll hear a clicking sound behind the board there. And now you're on shore power. A little bit of a delay there, but I just plug the lead back in and it clicked back over. You hear that sound? You're all good. Now, this system is designed to be very much plug your lead in or pull your lead out and you have power. You don't have to do too much with the system. A couple of things to think about if you do have any issues. These are just the same style as your breakers at home. So very similar sort of thing. So if that's clicked down, it means some reason that's turned off. These are always the first things you want to check. Now, generally speaking, there's no actual fuses at the batteries themselves. Rather than hitting the panic button, let's kind of look for things that might be obviously wrong. Sometimes it's simple as, has a kid run past and just knocked that lead out? Have one of my breakers just tripped? Have I been running my aircon flat out for 6 hours and just drained my batteries? You'll see my state of charge is 100%. But this is one of the first indicators, obviously, if you've got an issue with your batteries. Now, with this AC mode, basically it will use that shore power, or if that lead is knocked out for whatever reason, it'll just use my batteries. Now, the only problem if you're in a caravan park and leaving that on, if that lead is knocked out and you think, oh, it's a hot day, I could use my aircon as much as I want. If it is knocked out, it'll just go automatically over to your batteries and drain all your batteries down to nothing. A lot of time if you're in a caravan park, you want to just change that over to charger only. Now, nothing beeped or clipped or anything like that when I did that, because all that means now is if that cable does come out, I will just have no 240 in the caravan. And I know you can set up alarms and stuff, but that's just a good way to actually know if you're running your aircon, it's actually coming from the 240 on the outside from your shore power and not from your batteries. Now, you need to think of your battery system like you would think your water. If you are off-grid and you have, say, 300 litres of water underneath the caravan, it's not unlimited. Now, unlike the water system, you can replenish the electricity through your solar setup if you're off-grid, but it doesn't last forever. So just think of these things as a big bucket of electricity. And think of this thing like something that's very, very, very thirsty. So the way we set up the system through Arizon, this will run the aircon, but it will run the aircon for a certain amount of time. It will not run the aircon flat out. People ask all the time, oh, can I run my aircon? Yeah, you can absolutely run your aircon, but the problem is it's not unlimited. If you're not connected to shore power like I currently am, it is not unlimited and it can run out. Now on the system, Arizon, when they put this together, put an individual board number there. It's like a serial number. If you ever have any dramas with your system and you've tried to diagnose it yourself and you can't work it out, all you need to do is call the number that we'll give you and Arizon will dial into your system and they'll tell you exactly what's going on. So if you're happy to use your aircon flat out, they're going to let you know. In certain instances, your battery might go into safe mode or batteries and you may have to jump start them, but that is extreme and it doesn't usually happen. If you have a look at our system up here, our system is currently sitting at 100% batteries. So it's saying mains on, so it's telling me the power is actually connected by a 240 by our shore power, and it's on float mode. So it's basically just sticking a couple of amps in whenever needed. On the other side, if it's on inverter mode, as in my mains isn't on, it'll be saying exactly the same thing, but inverter on, and then it'll just be telling us what's going on. Is it float or is it absorption mode, bulk mode? There's a lot of fairly complicated electronics here, but fortunately, Arizon, they're the experts at it. You don't have to worry about it too much. It doesn't hurt to research a little bit more just to troubleshoot if you need to troubleshoot on the road, but realistically, your system is set up this way because it is quite straightforward. Jump on our website, www.utrek.com.au for more information.